things like that. I do not drive. I fly, and I fly in advance because there's always something happening when you're like not this last minute. I'll leave on that Friday and then be there Saturday and compete. I can't do that. It's too stressful for me.
All right, we are live, everyone. Let me just nerd out on something real quick here. Let's see. Right.
Refresh it.
I love that number.
Turn the volume down. So it doesn't turn it down.
All right. Welcome to episode 1 of Female Friday on our arm wrestling show. And I'm really excited to be with all of you guys. Let me just make sure this other stuff is turned down here and muted. All right, cool. So for our first Female Friday, who we have with us is my co-host, Blanca Vega. And we should
Hello.
Josh Edwards from Nowhere to Run Arm Wrestling dropping in pretty soon. And we do have Grace Bear in with us as well. Very talented up and comer from my area and Blanca's area in Southern California. And we are very honored to have Sarah Collins on with us, who is the president of the Female Texas Arm Wrestling League. Am I correct?
Correct. And then I'm the central director for the Texas Arm Wrestling League as well.
Yeah, you're super dialed in. And not only that, both yourself and Grace are in, well, you're in Maryland right now, Sarah, but you're in Virginia, Grace, and you're both looking to compete tomorrow in the East versus West, the final qualifier tomorrow, right?
Yep.
I'm so excited for you guys.
Ooh, the day has come. It's finally
exciting stuff. And so, yeah, Sarah and I were chatting a little bit before we came on, and looks like, yeah, Sarah, you made weight. Fantastic. Everything's going good. You're all fueled back up, chilling on a nice glass of wine and a tasty risotto. Loving it. And Grace, did you do the early weigh-in as well?
Yes, I just came from weigh-ins, and then we went to go eat some local barbecue right after.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready.
Cool. Was the barbecue good?
It was delicious.
Nice. What was the place called?
Oh, Pavement.
Oh my
barbecue.
Goodness. That they have amazing food there. I love it there. Yeah.
It's in Front Royal if anybody knows the area. It's really
very
nice.
Cool. All right. So it sounds like you weighed in today, but how are you in Maryland? Are they just like that close, Sarah?
So the weigh-ins were about an hour and 12 minutes from the hotel. So I'm vacationing and been driving around everywhere and kind of made a little vacation out of this. So I stayed in Maryland, drove into the Quality Inn, I think it is. The weigh-ins were at 5. So weighed in, then I come back here.
Okay, cool.
Interesting.
Now, one of the biggest reasons, just in terms of time, things that are going on that we wanted to have you on, was this women's tournament that just passed. It's not even the first one that you've done. You recently told me, Sarah, but I was just blown away. It's the first one I've known, and I guess the short time I've been arm wrestling, but 4 years now that I've seen that, and that's really, really amazing. And Blanca, you've been absolutely instrumental in reaching out to Sarah and really throwing this together. So thank you, Blanca, for that.
You're welcome.
Killing it for the women's side. So yeah, I mean, what an unbelievable thing.
It's been kind of crazy. I know that Sarah, this is the second year that she does the only
Third.
women's arm wrestling. Is it the third or the second?
We just had the third year.
A third year. Okay. And I have not been able to go and compete with you guys, but I am hoping that I will fly out there soon. You know how that goes, Sarah, but I see a lot of women that have been competing at your tournaments, and it makes it much more exciting to see more and more new women competing. And you've had a pretty large amount of women that have showed up to your tournament. That's pretty awesome. And so you're doing an amazing job. And so I mentioned it to Kane because I was like, you know what, we just had this last tournament and I want to talk about it. I actually invited Jolene Anderson to come and join us, but she had a concert tonight, so she couldn't make it. But I also invited Paige, and then she's got the baby and a lot going on. But that's pretty awesome that a lot of the ladies that have competed in our area as well, they've gone all the way to Texas and compete in your tournament. That's pretty awesome.
I'm definitely able to have them. Jolene killed it.
She always does.
But it's good to see Paige. I haven't seen Paige in a long time. I know she's been busy with the baby, but it was really good to see her out competing again.
Mm-hmm. What was your toughest opponent, Sarah?
My toughest from the ladies event?
Well, I would say from the ladies event, yeah, but also in general.
So at the ladies event, it was going to be Jolene. She's got them jazz hands, as they call her. Them.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. But as in general, toughest opponent, Jesus, probably Jolene.
Jolene, yeah,
Probably
she's pretty strong out there, and oh my gosh, I remember competing against her at the Arnold's qualifier, and of course I went over for like 5 pounds maybe, and you know how that goes, so. There was no chance with me and her. Well, with me, there's
she's
no
killing it right now, isn't she?
She is. Yeah.
So I want to kick off a couple basic, like let's go back, Sarah, a bit. But before we do, just want to say hi to a couple people in the chat. We have Don Mormon in the house saying "Lady Beasts." Yes, and we have somebody else, John. I can pronounce the first name, John. Okay, Fukushima, and I don't know what language this is, but maybe one of y'all know. Mana Wahines.
It means strong women in Hawaii.
That's what I'd like to think.
In Hawaii.
It's not some really bad cuss
It's probably one of Grace's fans.
Hey.
That's my dad.
Oh, say hello to your dad. Hello, Dad.
He's here about to watch the whole event. So.
Oh my gosh.
Nice. Right
That's
on.
awesome. That is awesome.
It's really cool.
Okay. So Sarah, here we go. Let's start way back and nice and simple. Where are you from?
I grew up in East Texas, but I am currently reside in Dallas, Texas.
Okay. And like where and when did you let's say how and when did you start arm wrestling?
So my dad arm wrestled back in the 80s, and I've been arm wrestling since I could remember, not like professionally, but just kids at school, or I remember being 8 years old arm wrestling the boys and beating them. And I competed in my first professional event. I was 16, and it was at Texas State. My first competitor was Tanya Todd. Well, it's Tanya Wood now, or Tanya Sixworth now, but at the time it was Tanya Todd. And I won my weight division because I pulled in the heavier class, and my mom pulled in the lighter class. I won my division, my mom won hers, and then Tanya won that one. So me and Tanya competed against each other, and she took my arms off and beat me with them.
Oh, wow.
I was not ready for that. So, and being at 16, I didn't stick with arm wrestling, and then I just kind of bounced in and out of it. And last 3 years, I've really been serious about it and training, trying to get better, really doing arm wrestling specific things and just seeing what happens.
Yeah, I love the videos you put out.
Oh man, I was out of Facebook for a couple of months, but I'm back, girls. I got to catch up.
Good, good. Nice to have you back on the dark side.
Thank you. I enjoy the dark side, by the way. So yeah. So Sarah, what's your favorite technique in arm wrestling?
So once upon a time, it was a press, and then I the press hurts. I really perfected or tried to perfect the top roll, and that's kind of where I'm, trying to stay strong at. And this year, my goal is to get better in the hook and really learn the hook technique, train for that, try to be an overall versatile puller.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's always a big question with a lot of arm wrestlers. I know some that do really well or well ranked, and they're like just focus on. They believe to focus on what the strength is and expedite that. I also know some that are really well rounded. So I'm a little partial to the well rounded thing. So that's cool that you're doing that. For the next question, I'd like to know what titles and big wins do you have? I personally know some of these so far from getting to know you, but can you tell everybody about your titles and big wins?
So I won Texas State this past year, September, what year are we in? 2022. I won Texas State. I did win IFA Nationals. I don't remember which hand it was. I think it was right hand. It was right hand. I won IFA Nationals. And then at the all ladies event, that was a WAF qualifier and also a national event. And I won that right and left-handed. My biggest win, I would say, was at the Utah event against Lee Aaron. Definitely wasn't expecting to get a win on her at all. But it was left-handed, not right-handed. So that was a moment for me.
Yeah, that was a really good win for you. Lee Aaron is an amazing, strong young lady. Yeah. But she will pull an entire 3, 4, 5 classes, and you do not see her slow down at all. At all. She's amazing. So congrats on that. That's a pretty good win.
But it was just, everybody has their good and bad days. But
right.
For her, she slams me easily for the most part.
Yes.
My entire I met her. So for me to even get to that level that I could compete with her, it was hey, my training's working. Everything that I'm doing is working. I just need to continue to progress.
Right. And you will. You'll see the results. Our training basically will say where we're at. And we won't know where we're at unless we're out there training, competing against other strong women.
Yeah, that's what we like to see.
Right.
And before you hop into the next question, I just want to welcome Nancy Locke.
Hi.
Hello, Nancy. Hello, beautiful.
Hi.
How you doing this evening?
Good. You guys are doing well?
We're doing great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Yes, this chat is full of so much power. I don't know. I feel a little intimidated. This is amazing. So Nancy, yeah, we're just running through a few questions with Sarah here. If you want to contribute to the conversation or have any comments, we would love to hear it.
I'm listening.
Okay. What else you got, Blanca?
So, what got you to the position of? What got you in the leadership position, like president of the arm wrestling?
So I got contacted. I don't remember what year it was. It was sometime in 2020 when the Texas Arm Wrestling League first started. And Matt Craig reached out and wanted me to join as a director. And I said no and no and no. I didn't know if I really thought I could be in that position. So I finally was like, you know what? I hit a bad depression. and needed something to do. I graduated college. I wasn't in a good position. And I said, you know what? Arm wrestling. I went
Why
ahead
not?
and shortly after that, he left the Texas Arm Wrestling League, and I took over as the central director. But during that time, I was trying to find my place with it. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do, what I could offer. And that's when I decided to start the ladies division and have the all ladies tournament and just start building the women of the sport, at least in Texas, and just see what happened after that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then I just took it and run with it.
Right. That's awesome. Well, you're doing a good job. I love the fact that you promote it. You promote it well. You created your own site, and you motivate a lot of women that are not into the sport, and they become interested, and that's good. You're going to get a lot of women that will join and then sometimes can't continue because a lot of them just can't deal with, the pain or the job as a mom or a spouse and things like that. You're going to get a lot of those, but you just keep on doing what you're doing, and you're going to have a lot of women join you. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Though the turnout wasn't, I don't know what happened. Like the first 2 years, there was decent turnout. This last year, it was not. So
well, remember what I mentioned about how you're going to get a lot of women excited. You're going to get them to start. Now, the bottom line is that, are you going to continue? Are you going to go with that sacrifice? Are you going to continue to train harder? Like you said, you are training so hard yourself. You are doing a lot to be where you're at. And then sometimes you don't get those wins that you were thinking you were going to get, or you're looking forward to, and then you just give up. Well, not everybody has that strong mentality to continue to move forward and go to the next. Sometimes people feel discouraged and they're like, I did all this for that, and then they just kind of stop. So we just have to continue on pushing and moving forward and stay positive as we can. And although we have all of our personal struggles in life, health and everything else, but you know what? You just keep on doing what you're doing, and it will eventually motivate more women and get them to join us.
Well said. A positive perspective. And honestly, from my perspective, when the women's tournament that you put on happened, I didn't even really realize it. I might not be tied in enough to the Texas Arm Wrestling League, but I found out about it after I saw the pictures and stuff. And
I was sharing it
after it was done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that said, that's part of why we want to do this, is to put a little bit more spotlight on it. But we are at your service, especially, whenever you want to do this next. Let's blow it up before it happens. I honestly want to see the same format of what you're doing, the same organization and all that here in California. Let's get other states on this action. I think it'll all cross-pollinate,
It's kind of like what we talked about in our last podcast, enable for the female arm wrestling to grow. We have to share it. We have to put it out there. Mm-hmm. We have to let people know. Just because we live in California, we don't compete in Texas, or we're not able to, it doesn't mean that we can't share that particular tournament or tag the women that are here in California, because some could travel. Not everybody is tied down with family or work or injuries. And so, just sharing it is basically the support that we need, enable for the female sport to grow.
Absolutely.
And we can do that. Why not?
So for you, Sarah, what are your goals as president, with this tournament, just in general with women's arm wrestling?
It's always been my goal to have the biggest payouts, the best,
cool.
A stage, for the ladies. Like they have their own spotlight. They have fair weight classes. Now some will, not agree with the weight classes that I've created, but I did a lot of statistics for an entire.
I love the weight classes, by the way. I'm so glad that you made those changes on the weight classes. Sorry to interrupt, but I completely agree with the weight classes that you set up for your tournaments.
A year statistics over, and you take a guy going and asking women's weight. It's not really, but you take a woman go, hey, look, I'm trying to rebuild the women's weight classes. What's your weight? And I asked every female arm wrestler in the United States that I had access to on Facebook, and built it, put it in, to an algorithm and figured out the fairest weight classes. Unfortunately, right now, there's not a 125-pound class, or a lower class than 150. But we've said over and over that if the women show up and there's enough to build the class, to build a lighter weight class, we will build it. But that is also a goal that I'm hoping to accomplish, is to get more of the lighter pullers and to be able to build that class. And of course, keep the payouts. They're currently $500 for first place, but that may be changing to try to get more payouts for first, second, and third, or I don't know. There's going to be change that event for sure, just based with the turnout from last year, or from this year, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So Nancy, what do you think about that? She's got lighter weight classes going on, trying to get as much payouts as she can. Is this a tournament you could see yourself coming out for, maybe making a little cash?
I weigh 118 pounds.
What happened to 125? What happened to 125?
What's the lowest weight class, Sarah?
Right now it's 150. But if enough ladies show up to create a lighter class, let's say a 125-pound class, because mine are spaced between 25 pounds, then I would create it.
Mm-hmm.
I weigh 118. I know.
But you're Nancy Locke.
I know, but I have it up to here. Going against women that are 30 pounds heavier than me. That's it. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to train really hard to get just $2 to show everybody that I can beat bigger, 30, 40 pounds heavier than me. That's it. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm getting old. I want to stay small and healthy. I don't want to gain 30 pounds per one tournament. I'm never going to do that. Never did. My health comes first. And if there's a class that's my category, I'll go. If there's none, I don't want to. It's just, I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of, I want women, lightweight women to get in, be great. It's just to find them, people that weigh my category. And they are at the Worlds, there are women my category, but there are other countries. In the US, there's not hardly any women under 120 pounds that arm wrestle seriously.
We like our
It's not my fault if I weigh 118 and I'm super strong. I'm not going to go against bigger women anymore. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, want to go against me, lose the weight.
We have Tara that's only 125 pounds or under 25 pounds. Is it?
Yeah, we've got women coming in lighter, and even my wife, she's had the same problem, and I understand both perspectives. From Sarah's side, promoters' side, they need enough entries, and
I get that.
I believe we're getting more lightweights in there, both men and women. I've been noticing that a lot this year, at least just our team practices and stuff like that. But also us as shows and a community and everything like that. I think those could be the routes where if we really, push, promote, and help, promoters and tournament organizers like Sarah, they're putting these things together almost in a sense like what, pre-order, pre-sale, sending a number of lightweights that would be committed to doing it so that they can open up that class for an event.
A lot of women, my category, they get discouraged. They lose because 0 to 154 pounds.
It's a big difference.
Someone that weighs my weight won't win. Okay, maybe me, but that's different. But if they won't win and they give up, and I get it. It's like, why? They're gonna give up. So if they had classes lightweight, there'd be more women going, hey, I'm winning and I'm winning. Good. I won't show up to make them win. Like, come on, lightweight girls do want to arm wrestle, but they lose against girls that weigh 30 pounds heavier. It's like the guys, there's lightweight guys, middleweight, heavyweight. There's a reason why there's categories. Lightweight guys are still in there because there's a lot of guys. There's not enough women lightweight. Valerie Beach and me. I don't know any other women lightweight that are super strong. In Canada, I know. In Sweden, there is, but in the States, it's too bad, because if there was more lightweight girls, I'd be back into it really 100%. But now I don't want to. My age, no.
Nancy, what's your weight cutoff for a weight class? What's your weight cutoff? Because they don't have 118-pound weight classes. So what would your cutoff be?
At the World, they're 125, and I think there's one that's 121 or 118, 116, 0 to 116, then 117 to 125. 125 would be good.
So if I could make a 125-pound class, like I was saying, if there's enough ladies, I can get enough ladies for 125, I'd create the class.
But
for sure we have ladies here.
Let's like you do that. I show up and I'm the only one. That's not right.
Well, that's what she's saying. We would get enough in advance before she opens the class and promotes it as an event. So like, we
kind of like sign up prior to the tournament. You get, you promote it. You say, if you sign up before, a certain date, then you have, you'll get an idea. Pre-registered, right. And so it kind of works out. You get like a free shirt or something. And it works out because you have an idea of who's going to be there. You've already paid your money. You're already registered. They know that they're going to show up. So it kind of works out.
If I don't show up, you might get more girls showing up. Because it's not going to be. And if I don't show up, that'd be fine. You might start getting girls, and then one day I'll show up. But start doing it without me being there, because I want girls to get, hey, I'm getting good at it, and I'm winning.
It's possible, but a lot of up and comers, they want to test themselves against athletes like you as well. It's an opportunity.
I know I did.
Yeah.
And look we're buddies now. We're like besties.
So Sarah, what however you do it, whether you made it cheaper for pre-registries rather than day of or whatever, how many pre-registries would you like to see to open up a 0 to 125?
That's the rule. For the $500 payouts, it's 4 to a class.
Okay.
4 minimum. Okay.
4 minimum to a class. Now this year, we did not have 4 to a class in every one of them, but instead of having no payouts, we decided to structure it like, okay, if there's 2, it'll be 2. And I don't remember the exact numbers. I've slept since then, but this is just an example. So if you had 2 in a class, it'd be 200. If there were 3 in a class, it was 300. 4 in a class, it was 500, the full payout. But we didn't just
pretty cool.
Payouts. There was something still paid out.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I remember competing in Vegas, and because in my class there was only 3 girls and not 4, but the other and Ronnie competed with super heavyweights instead of his weight classes because there was not enough super heavyweights to compete against. But no one got money. Everyone, the promoter kept the money, and so I said to myself, I would never ever support any promoter that will do something like that. So that's pretty amazing that what you did, instead of giving the 500, you gave half of that. But you know what? Everyone was there to compete. Everyone wanted to get something, and they did. And that's pretty nice what you did. Mm-hmm.
So I can definitely say,
I don't want to keep it.
Yeah. Well, definitely Josh and I are at your service. Whatever you need for the next one, if you need us to help promote or try and rack in some pre-registries from California, whatever you need, let us know. And I can confidently say that I'm sure Blanca would do anything.
Of course. We're here to support anybody that's got, tournaments, anything that has to do with our female arm wrestling. You know that I'm there if I can, and if I can't be there, physically, but I'm here to support it and to share it. And that's what I can do.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, Grace. So you didn't compete in that tournament, right? Did you hear about it?
No, I heard about it a little late. I couldn't get off of work in time to get down there, but the next one I'll definitely be there.
We need to get out there, Grace. We need to go.
And you look really light, and I don't know, this is so awkward. I'm a guy, like I can't like ask your weight.
You look
but,
like that's not the
It's
person.
okay.
I'm
I weighed
assuming
in at,
you would
I
fit in
weighed
the
in at
125 category.
149 just now. I weighed in at 149. It's okay.
Are you serious? Okay. Well, you are a little taller. Okay. But yeah, I'd like to see as many women get to this as possible.
Same. Yeah.
You feel
Whatever we can do to promote it.
You feel good about tomorrow with East versus West, Grace?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get
strong.
schooled. I'm ready.
Ready? Okay.
You're gonna do good. You're gonna do good. You've been training hard. You feel strong. You're good.
Pulled before, so it's really exciting.
And that is the most exciting part about it. When you pull people that you don't know, that's the best part, because you don't know what to expect. You just go there and you give your all. That's it. Yeah.
And the location is beautiful. Oh my gosh, you guys.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Awesome. Well, we've just got a couple more questions for you, Sarah. And here's one. What makes a great arm wrestling event in your opinion, just in general?
So for me, what makes a great arm wrestling event is I like consistency, like things to be across the board consistent. But it really comes down to the way the brackets are ran. I don't, and this is just me personally, I don't like things that stop at like semifinals and you hold off on the finals and then you get caught. I like running things all the way through the finals. So for those events that stop, it drives me. I don't like it. That's just me. I always think it's great to have like a live stream there. Any commentating, of course, is good, but a live stream. And of course, it's always good to have good refs, making sure that you're safe on the table. That's a big factor for me as well. I don't like seeing anybody get hurt.
Yeah. Well, that all sounds about right. I would definitely agree with that. Hey, Blanca, did you see some of the goofy Texas questions we have for her?
You know what? The next time I go to Texas, I need to know which is the best barbecue in Texas.
Yeah. In your opinion, Sarah.
Hard 8 barbecue.
Wait, say it again.
It's hard 8 barbecue.
Okay.
Hard 8.
Steak or ribs?
Are you a steak or are you a ribs lady?
Steak.
Steak all the way? Okay.
All the way.
So Heartaches, is that in Dallas?
No, I forget the town that it's over there near Nebraska Furniture. So I forget what town it is. Little Elm, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. It's on the outskirts. It's. Don't get me. I'm directionally challenged. I don't know. Yeah, no. But great barbecue.
Okay. All right.
So we actually asked Freddie Sanchez the same question Tuesday on the show, and it was very similar. I mean, it's a different place, and I'm gonna have to like text him and ask him exactly what the name. I want to say it was like Callahan's or Cardigans or something like that. It had a cool name, but it was the same thing, just like totally out in the middle of nowhere.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. The one he was talking about, he said they had all kinds of like weird animals. I think there was like llamas or like all kinds of weird stuff.
I don't think it's any worse than when I went to Syracuse, the tournament. We freaking ate alligator.
Oh wow! I heard that's good.
Oh no!
We ate like,
around here.
Like chicken. It tastes like chicken.
Florida cattle.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Well, so Nancy, I've got some questions. Blanca and I have some questions here for you as well. And I got to say, I had a blast talking with you last night. We got into so much conversation.
I told you would.
Yeah, I just at some point I was like, Nancy, we're gonna have to, do this show, Like,
I'm like, Nancy, I'm at work.
All the funniest, juiciest conversation here. Okay, well, so starting basic. Where are you originally from? Can you tell everybody?
Ottawa, Canada.
Ottawa, Canada. And this is why there is a little bit of that accent that you have?
Yes, I'm French. My first language is French, so I'm French Canadian. Ottawa from Canada. Proud to be Canadian.
Nice.
Nice. But you're currently NorCal?
Yeah, I live 45 minutes north from San Francisco.
Petaluma.
Petaluma, where the arm wrestling statue is.
Okay. So since we asked Sarah a cuisine question regarding Texas,
Food, okay.
do you have any
She
do you have any
loves
like
food.
French cuisine faves?
Here there's
Anything in
not
particular?
many French cuisine here, but I love sushi. I can eat sushi every day.
Oh.
A lot of
That's
sushi here.
why.
A lot of sushi and steaks. Everything's good. The French cuisine, there is some of them. It's good. But in Canada, where I'm from, people like to eat poutine. It's French fries with gravy with cheese on top. It's you want a heart attack, just eat that every day for a week. You'll have a heart attack.
Oh,
But yeah.
Heard about it. Before you field the next one, Blanca, yeah, one thing I was just cracking up about last night that you were telling me, since we're on the subject of French language, is how when you go up to the table, you start saying all this like scary stuff in French to your competitors.
Yes, I call whoever's in front of me. I start calling her names. They don't know what I'm saying because it's saying in French, and I swear in French.
Yeah.
And I say really bad things at the table in front of the girl.
She's
And
trying
she
to make
doesn't know
herself
what I'm saying,
angry.
I love it. I love it.
And I usually apologize if I say or do something not nice to them after the tournament. I'll go up to them and say, and I usually go say to the girl, I'm sorry if I said this, or I'm sorry if I reacted that way. I'm sorry. I wasn't all there. I'm all concentrating. But I always say I'm sorry to them after if I did something wrong.
The best part about that is like there's certain languages where if you were like talking trash at the table, like
Yeah.
you would know it, like based on that language. But for
Yeah.
me, I mean, just the way I'm picturing it in French, like I think of French as being like romantic and like it always sounds like you're saying something nice. So you probably get away with so much, you know. Like,
You
are
wouldn't have
so
to see her.
confused, like,
You
is
wouldn't have
Nancy
to see
sweet
her.
talking me right now?
Oh, it's not romantic at all
no.
what I say.
No, you would have to see her in action. You would have to see her in action because nowhere on the table is it sweet at all.
Oh my God,
Not at all.
no. My first
No.
time seeing Nancy was in person at the Reno IFA qualifier, and I sent her the video of her arm wrestling Malia, my wife. And yeah, she handled her because she didn't know who Malia was. She handled her just like any, you know, threatening competitor. And
Yep.
boy, yeah, that was intense. I was very worried about Malia. She held her own up there, you know. My
never
favorite
broke
part was you
anybody's arm.
screamed in her face really,
Yep.
really loud. And then they said, go, you flash pinned her. And then you gave her like this aggressive pat on the shoulder. And then you went,
Yeah.
oh, sorry. Because
I know. Oh my God. And a good thing it's my left hand that I do that. It's weak. My left hand is really weak. And it's a good thing it's my left hitting them because if it wasn't my right, it'd be. So I'm sorry to everybody if I yelled at you and I said bad things, but I don't mean it. I do mean it, but I don't mean it.
And I accept your apology.
No,
Okay, I'm sorry.
She's too
you're a
funny.
competitor. That's good. All right, what do we got, Blanca?
So we're talking about when
Yeah.
when did you start arm wrestling?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
1984, my first tournament. I was 14 in 1984 in a carnival. My dad brought me there and he says, try it out. And I was the youngest, the skinniest one. And I get there and I beat all these women. It was women's open. And I went to the table and I looked at the ref and I said, where do I put my arm? And he said, there. And he says, you go this way. So when he said, ready, go, I said, oh, like this? So I won first place. And after that, I did a bunch of little tournaments my parents brought me to. I always won. And I would do lightweight and heavyweight. And I would go against the guys too lightweight. That was stupid of me, but anyway. And Then at the Worlds, at the Canadians, I was 17. My dad brought me there. He told me that morning, oh, let's go to see Grandpa and Grandma, whatever. And I said, okay, let's go. He stopped at the Canadian. He says, I'm going to co-sign. I'm there. What's this? He goes, it's the arm wrestling Canadian. When you lose, we'll leave. Well, we were there all day. I won. Okay, I need a coach. I'm going to go to the Worlds. My parents brought me to the Worlds, and it was in Canada for the first time. My parents brought me there. They co-signed for me because I was underage. I was 17. And I got there, and I was just happy being at the finals. I was just happy just being at the finals. And when I beat the girl brought me down, and I just brought her back. And when I won, I was jumping up and down going, wow. And I had a coach. He went on stage and grabbed me, and he was crying. My parents were crying, and I'm there. Why are they crying? So I won Worlds, and I was 17. And after that, I trained really hard because everybody was after me. The way girls were going, I'm after Nancy. So I went to 4 Worlds, won 4 Worlds. And the biggest one was in Paris in 1991. There was 50 countries. It was 3 days long. Gary Goodrich beat John Brezink there. And when I went there, it was really a big, big tournament. Huge. It was the biggest money with a diamond. They gave you a diamond and plus $2,500 Canadian in those days. And that was a lot. And it was a lot of people. It was the biggest tournament. I never seen a tournament like that ever again after that. And I won first place. And the girls, they were all after me. They all came up to me one by one. I'm after you. And I'm like, oh my God, this is stressful. I hate this. So I had diarrhea all day. 3 days I had diarrhea. Yeah, I wasn't sleeping. And I won. I got to the table and I yelled and I just got mad. Every girl I went against, I got mad and yelled every time. And I put them down like this. And after that, there was a big practice, a big party. And the guy that won lightweight was there, the one that won first place lightweight, and I was there, and I arm wrestled him. I guess he was really tired, but I beat him. But I think he was really tired. And then that's when I realized, okay, I think I'm a freak. I think I'm a real freak. I'm not normal. This is really okay. I gotta, and 2 years after I stopped for 25 years. But I'm just a freak in arm wrestling. Now it's like, that's it. I don't want to go against bigger people. I don't want to go against guys anymore. I just getting old. I'm in pain. I'm getting old, and it's really, I'm 53, and it's just, it's getting heavy on me. It's hard. And I'm on menopause, and menopause, testosterone goes down. So I'm just not as strong as before. So I just want to stay lightweight now. So yeah, but that's how I start.
Gentlemen out there watching this, I'm telling you right now, we've got 4 lovely ladies on here right now, and they could probably smack that ass. I'm just being honest. So that actually ties, what you're saying actually ties into the next question I have.
Right.
But first, let's check into the chat real quick. We got Todd Calazo in here saying versatility in terms of what we were talking about earlier with Sarah. How she's always trying to be well-rounded. We got Paul Stevens in the house saying what's up. And we were hoping,
Paul.
Yeah, we were hoping his wife Erika would drop in tonight.
Yeah, she had to work late.
Working a double.
Yeah, she's
double
working.
Shift.
She sounds like me.
Todd also says that he agrees appropriate weight classes for sure. We've got Benjimac in the house saying yo
awesome
ladies.
Benji.
And anybody out there who hasn't seen Benjimac's channel, Benjimac Arm Wrestling, go check that out. He's got some really great videos. He's starting
amazing videos.
Amazing
videos.
Yeah, we want to see more of that, Benji. And Benji, since it looks like you are moderator, if you can go ahead and plug your channel, that would be great. And we've also got Jaden Knight Sr. in the house.
Hey, Jaden.
Resident Alpha Empire badass who is now in Arkansas, says alligator is delicious. I believe it. I've never tried it.
You know what? I've tried everything. I've tried everything except for alligator until Syracuse. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, some
Oh,
Cajun
I have a
seasoning
challenge
on there.
coming soon.
Yeah. We got Jamie in the house, Jamie Sheldon saying, "What's up, Nancy?"
Hi, Jamie.
What's up, Jamie?
And he's also giving a hello to you as well, Blanca and Grace and Sarah.
Hey,
Hello
Jamie.
from Jamie. And we've got Mr. Caleb Armbender, Caleb Velasco in the chat with a big smile. He's happy to see
Hey,
you
Caleb.
Hi, Caleb.
He's crushing it.
all. Oh, he's doing so good.
He's doing amazing.
Yes, yes. And I'm looking forward to my match with you, Caleb, in July. Yeah, hopefully you don't beat
I
me
didn't know about
again,
this
but I'm
one.
coming for you.
I didn't know
July,
about
where's
this
that
one.
at?
So we've got a super match at the Arm Fest, the first
Okay.
Sunday of July. There's a
Nice.
few North people coming down for super matches. We're gonna make a little thing of it. The few guys that are coming, they're gonna be staying up in the mountain with me. I rented the B&B next door to my cabin, and
Oh,
we're
that's
just
awesome.
gonna make a fun weekend out of it and get some matches in.
Sweet.
For Caleb and I'm pretty sure it sounds like he's down, but I want to do it Arm Wars style in the sense that I want to go a full 6 rounds, complete all 6 rounds, no matter what. And if a 7th round tiebreaker is needed, we'll do that. It's just he's got endurance for days and he's fun to pull. So I'm like, let's just do this right, you know?
Let's do it.
Really good matchup.
We'll talk after.
Yeah. Caleb just said, see you soon, Kane. All right, well, let's jump back into this. So you were talking about your history, Nancy, and so I'm very curious. What are in your perspective and your experience, your career, what are the major differences between arm wrestling when you started in the 80s and how it is now?
In the 80s, there was hardly any straps. Hardly ever straps. They didn't even exist in 86, strapping.
Like they didn't even need to?
Nobody was slipping. Everybody was going in a hook, or they would just hold on. They wouldn't slip and then start again and blah, 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 all that. It was just pure strength.
It was all arm strength.
Yeah, it was arm strength a lot. And now it's slipping and a lot of techniques. That's good. That's good. And that's good. There's strap. It's more stuff, more action at the table. So I agree what's going on now. Like it's more fun to watch. Yeah. And people are more lively on the table. Before it was like serious and they were shy. Now people are not shy anymore. They yell. No, it's great. No, the arm wrestling is much better now. More fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, Josh and I were talking recently how we've also heard from people that have been polling quite a long time that it was very rare for a match to end in fouls as well.
Yeah.
Is that, would you say that's true?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now it's a lot of technique, a lot of not cheating, but a lot of techniques to try and get away with things.
Manipulation.
Do all that, but now it's a lot of that, and it's great. It's more exciting. It's more challenge, more things you have to think. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. You have to think quick. In the past, it was mostly, power, but no, it's much better now. It's fun, and more people are getting into it, and people are taking it serious, and they're training harder, and that's fun. No, it's better now than the 80s, but it was fun in the 80s too. It was fun.
That's really cool to hear that you like that from your perspective, coming from the old school arm wrestling. Because you definitely are an intensity puller, which is often related to athletes that pulled in the 80s and 90s. But it's cool to hear even from your perspective that you think the new way with a lot of the technique and variances, they really do make things interesting. So I'm glad to hear your perspective. What about
Oh yeah, and the refs are more serious. People are can't get away with as much as before. No, it's great. It's great. It's just much better now. Yeah.
Cool. What about your perspective, Sarah? But just between the beginning of your career in arm wrestling and now, has there been any changes that stand out to you?
There's more ladies now than there were back then. Their weight classes have gotten somewhat better. Before it was just all open. When I pulled at 16, I didn't have an amateur class to pull in, and I didn't have a weight class. Well, they had 2 weight classes. I take that back. You go pull the open people, and that's it. So I got my ass handed to me a lot, and it does get discouraging. But I think it made me a better puller. Definitely toughened me up, and that's I don't know. I wasn't consistent enough with it to really see a lot of changes like that. I just posted the weight classes.
So Grace and Blanca, when am I gonna get to see you in a tournament doing some like Nancy Locke stuff? Like both of you are just so nice at the
I am
table.
not nice at all.
I mean, maybe not in the actual arm wrestling, but
I'm actually
you
not the
both are
type
very-
of no, yeah, I don't see myself ever getting crazy loud like
Right.
that, only because that's just who I am. I'm crazy loud inside.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I think all the craziness is going on in here. And I'm
Yeah, yeah.
You understand, Grace. It's all inside. It's all
Yeah.
inside. It totally is, though.
Yeah, I can kind of relate to that. I feel like a lot of it you try and like
Yeah.
harness into the arm wrestling itself.
Yeah.
But there's a couple times I've proved myself wrong where, you know, a match pushed me just far enough to, you know, to really amp things up a little bit more and found a little bit more strength or energy.
Right.
But it's
hard. It's hard. Let me tell you, ask my coach. When we do sparring, when we do striking, and I hear all these girls, you know, they're doing their kicks, they're doing their punches, and they're like, you can hear them, you know, screaming and doing all this. I'm that quiet person, but I'm quiet inside. Now, put me on a ring match, I'm not going to be quiet at all. It's all going to be punching and kicking. But yeah, I just
you gotta
can't.
watch out for.
No, I just can't. That's just who I am. But that's a perfect example. But everybody has their own thing, you know. Nancy has her scream, her, you know, and I'm just focused. I'm just there to be.
Yeah.
channeling all that energy.
Yeah.
It's that fine line, you know. Some people like they'll exert so much energy before a round or a match, you know, screaming or whatever, and actually lose a little bit for the actual match. But some people, it really psychologically puts them into this superhuman mode, and it actually works. But,
Right, and it works for them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you want to take the next one, Blanca?
Oh, so we were talking about we're talking about what
Differences
makes
with 80s and now.
right. What's the difference between arm wrestling when you started in the 80s versus now? I think it's kind of like the same question that you asked earlier, but in a different way, I guess you can say.
No, yeah, pretty much the same thing. I think we covered it.
Yeah.
The next one I have here is
What goes through her mind?
yes. Yeah.
What goes through my mind?
What goes through your mind
Generally.
when you're intense, when you're so intense at the table? What's
Yeah.
going through your mind at the moment?
Oh my God. I can't say everything, but I do think of a teacher that I had that was really, 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 really bad to me when I was a kid. So I have her in my back of my mind, and I want to, you know, really pay her back. So I think of something really bad that happened in the past. So that's something that teacher, and I think of ripping the girl's arm off.
Oh shoot! Okay,
But I don't do that. I'm there to break her arm, rip it off her chest. I'm there to, and I'm scared. I'm really scared of losing. But I think of very bad things that happen, and I just explode. I just want to, that's what I think. And I think of other things, but it's kind of personal. But yeah, well, one of them is my teacher, a teacher I had. Poor teacher. She's still alive. But anyway.
Oh.
You should go visit her.
Oh, I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to know where she lives. I don't.
Yeah.
Got a question for Nancy.
Yeah.
What was your greatest loss? Who was your greatest lost opponent?
Well, I lost against Victoria Carlson,
I remember that one.
Ooh.
and that's
That was
it.
an amazing
Trying to
match,
think,
though.
lightweight division, lightweight division, my category. I'm thinking really hard. I don't remember ever losing my category.
Yeah.
Heavyweight,
Was-
yeah, middleweight.
Was Victoria out of your weight class? Was she a
She
little
was
bit?
140.
Okay, I remember that match. It was such a good match, though. It was so
WAL,
close.
right?
Pardon me?
Was it WAL?
Yeah, it was WAL, and she they didn't say how much she weighed, but she weighed about 140. And when you see the video, when I come out, they say how much I weighed. And they weighed me with my clothes on, my leather coat on, my boots, my purse, and I weighed 128. All dressed up at night. And they don't say how much she weighs. Like, you'll notice that you don't know how much she weighs. But whatever. I just I had to go against her if I wanted to do WL, and I had fun. It was fun. Well,
it was a really good match, though, regardless if she was a lot heavier than you or not. But you did amazing. I mean, you were so close. It was just one of the best matches I've seen.
Yeah, that is the only loss I had in lightweight. But she's middleweight, so I can't really. If lightweight, I never lost, but middleweight, I did lose in the past in Canada. Heavyweight, I did lose against Leanne Sprang from Montreal. She's a heavyweight champion, and she won first place at Over the Top when they made the movie. She's the one that came in first place, so she beat me. That's normal. She's 200 pounds.
Wow.
So yeah.
So can you tell us about your titles, Nancy?
Oh, four worlds and 6 Canadians, and 4 internationals, and that's it. I stopped in 93. 25 years later, I came back, and my second tournament was WL.
Right.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, give me a chance. But I said no to them the first time. They asked me 1 year, and I said, no, I don't want to. Then the year I came back, and they asked me again. I said, okay, fine. And it was my second tournament.
So are we going to see you this year?
WL? I don't know. The last time was in... it was 3 years ago, I think, in Reno. When I saw, I did 4 categories: light, medium, and I did 4 categories, and I won the 4 of them. And your wife was there, Kane. And that was my last tournament. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
We want to see you back. Hopefully, the sport keeps growing and makes it worth it for you.
It'll grow. Arm wrestling will keep on growing. Devin Larat is making this really, really big right now.
True.
So he's doing a good job. And you're doing a good job. Blanca, everybody is doing a good job. Everybody's trying really hard to get this sport bigger. Everybody, it's great.
There's a lot of good promoters out there. A lot of good people that are focusing on running. Not only regular tournaments, but females, promoting a lot of the females. James Reed is one of them.
I like to say thank you, Sarah, for doing the women only. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, that is definitely.
I wish you could make it out there, Nancy.
Yeah.
Well, the next question I want to ask is kind of a play on what Sarah's question was. I guess just on the flip side, what win are you the most proud of?
My win?
Yeah, out of all your wins that you've had, which one was the one that you were like, it really stands out for you, that you're the most proud of?
It's funny, when I beat guys, when I beat guys, that is like, wow, man, this is, and almost every tournament, I'm happy. I'm happy that I did it. I'm happy going against newcomers, old comers. I like meeting new girls. I like, there's not one, maybe the one that stand out the most is the one in Paris, because it was 50 countries. 2 girls per countries. It was
Mm.
the biggest tournament. That was the biggest. And all the other ones, I'm happy with all of them. I'm just happy.
Mm.
No, there's not. Maybe the Paris. I guess it's the Paris one that stands out the most. But yeah.
So do you and Eric train often together, or
Well,
how does
Eric
that?
Eric had a back operation last year, knee replacement, and another operation. So there's a lot of operations going on. So he's training just to keep in shape.
Right.
And I'm training just to keep in shape. We're not training for arm wrestling right now. We're just training just to stay
Conditioning.
long.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, but we still have all our equipment, our gym, everything's here. We have Eric's trophies are all over the place. Eric is still huge, so still very, very, very powerful.
Very
so.
strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those of you that don't know, who are watching, that might be like brand new to the sport and are just learning about Nancy, Nancy Locke is not only a multiple world champion, but her husband, who we're talking about, Eric Wolfell, is like, he's like the dude, left-handed. For several years, nobody could beat him left-handed. And even the top lefts right now have just massive respect for him. So just nothing but greatness and power in that household, huh, Nancy?
Oh yeah,
Right.
he won 11 worlds. 11
11.
worlds. And he beat Travis. Woohoo! So yeah.
I like that win. Yeah.
So no, he's a big guy, very strong, knows everything about arm wrestling. It was a perfect match. Him and I getting married. We watch arm wrestling. We don't practice anymore, but we still watch arm wrestling on TV, and we're like, yeah, we get it. We get into it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if Malia and I ever make it up north, it would just be so awesome to get a chance to train with you.
Oh yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great.
We need to plan a trip
Eric.
because we were talking about that yesterday, remember? So we definitely need to plan a trip out there.
Yeah.
Get a tour of your gym.
And then I'll teach you a bunch of stuff. Bunch of stuff.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
So,
Yeah. One of the things we discussed last night that I think a lot of people would find interesting is how we're in agreement that a lot of times women are better arm wrestlers than men. Yeah, they are, especially, smarter, using what they have a lot better. I know that's
More technical.
stereotypical way of thinking, but it is oftentimes true from what I'm finding,
Right.
especially from the women that are training seriously about it.
and
a
we're
lot of
better
times.
looking.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely.
Better looking than men. Oh my God. Yeah, women, we when a woman starts to do something, she's really into it. That's I find women are nice to watch. The techniques we use and all that is just
110%.
yeah. Malia has her own move now. She hasn't gotten to do it in a while since she's almost having our baby, but I think us Californians called it the Queen's move now. She literally puts her leg on the table when she's pulling and goes deep inside in a hook, but
That
she really
press.
braces down the table with it like that. Yeah, I definitely don't look as cool
Malia
like
press.
trying to show it, but you've seen it a bunch of times, right, Grace?
Yep.
Yeah. What is going on?
Yeah, so have I.
You've seen it, Blanca?
If it gives her leverage and whatever it gives her, you know
Hey.
what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
We gotta do what we gotta do, right?
Yeah. If it
She's
works,
a winner.
Well, we've just got a few more questions here. So in terms of technique, it is how would you define your technique, Nancy?
my technique is if somebody wants to go in the king move, and I do my technique, you won't be able to go in the king room. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
She's my hooker queen.
Yeah, there's and I do a little bit like what Travis does. I do a bit what Travis Bridgettesexiness does. There's not too many people that do my technique, but there's a thing I do. My husband knows. The bunch of guys that used to train here, they all know my technique now. They know what I do, but it's there's something I don't want to say it too much because if I go to a tournament, everybody's gonna know I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
But there's something that
yeah.
I do that it's I've been doing it since the 80s, and it's been working.
It's been working, definitely.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's been
it's
working.
time to archive Nancy's videos. Polling people. What did she do? What did she do?
You have to go on. You have to put it on slow motion. You can see it. It's something I do, and you have to put it on slow motion. But I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say it the day.
Now I'm gonna check about these videos, Nancy. Now I'm
Time
gonna
to go study Nancy.
Watch the videos, but there's something I do, and my husband caught on right away. He goes, "Oh my God, that's the best way to do your technique to stop a king's move." And I said, "Yeah."
Kingsman, yeah.
And top rolling. There's anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Blanca, before you field that next one, just want to pop into the chat and mention that Jamie says Eric is a great dude. Yeah, I hope I get to meet him one day too. And yeah, get a chance to train with both of you.
Yeah, anytime.
Seem pretty awesome. Austin Jennings is popping in, and he's saying he'll pull me or Caleb left-handed, best of 6. Let's go. Love it, Austin.
Yeah.
Austin's been strong, pound for pound. He's a strong dude from Texas.
He will be. Yeah, he's very strong.
Yeah. So you trained with him before, Sarah?
He's from Texas. I'm familiar with Austin. He's
a good guy. I like hanging out with him. We've hung, trained twice now, once in Arkansas, and he came out here recently. The only issue with now that his left is like, I think he could beat me left, even lighter, weighing lighter than me, is we're both like, I say the same thing about my right my left that he says about his right. He calls his right trash, and I call my trash. Sucks when that happens, you know. But yeah, okay, we can go ahead. I think we're caught up on the chat. Blanca, what do we got?
So Nancy, what do you think, or how do you think we can help build the women's arm wrestling?
Well, if there's more money, people will come. And we just have to do more videos. Like Devin does videos every day. Every day he's on Facebook, Instagram, every day. So I should too, but we should just put every day women arm wrestling, just talking about it. And men, there's more men because there's more money for men, and there's not as much women.
Hold on. How much? Okay, I disagree. How much more money are you talking, Nancy? Because if I offer $500 first place payouts for 4 weight classes, right and left hand, that's a lot of money. Would you agree?
Yeah.
How much more money do you think could be offered for a one-time year event to bring more ladies to the event?
No, I'm saying you're doing good. That's why I said thank you, Sarah, to make those tournaments. I think you're doing good.
You think more money be at the other ones?
No, I think she's referring to in general, not just you're not focusing on your particular tournament. Like she said, congrats, like you're doing a good job. And if more promoters were offered that, then we would have, it would grow much faster. That's what she's referring to. Right, Nancy?
Yeah, and a lot of tournaments, they give more money to men than women. So less women show up. And it's like, why go for $200? My hotel's going to cost $200. So a lot of people are with the money, and I understand, like not everybody has $200 a night for 3-4 nights, and you just win a couple $100. Why go? Men, they give a bit more. There's more guys, and it's more popular for men than women. That's the way it is. Like soccer, or big tournaments of other sports, men are more popular than women in almost every sport. So arm wrestling, we're lucky that there's a lot of girls arm wrestling now, because in the past, was arm wrestling, a lot of girls in my time, but I mean, it's a guy sport,
Right.
still a guy sport. And big tournaments like Dubai, it's all guys at Dubai. Those East against West, whatever, it's all guys, and give more money to guys, and people want to see the guys more than the women. And there's nothing we can do about it, but just keep on arm wrestling and doing tournaments. But I'm just saying, in general, they give more money to men than women.
Yeah.
Well, I think that as it grows, there is this kind of like fascinating, like intrigue when it comes to women in arm wrestling, because especially unlike other sports, you know, the big stigma, or I guess way of thinking about arm wrestling is still like it's a macho thing. If people like, you know, don't do it or don't really like follow it, it's just like, you know, a competition of who's like a tougher person, and not really seeing all the sportsman technique and all sportsmanship and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like when women are getting in this and competing and can even be doing it at lightweights, it really, I think it changes the way of thinking on that, you know. Josh and I are on the same wavelength. We've talked about the fact that we think that when you're talking about money, bringing more sponsors in, that team competitions is the way to go, because it's a lot easier for a sponsor to get behind a team than it is for one person. And I kind of feel the same way about women's arm wrestling and kids arm wrestling. You know, the more
But
like you mentioned Devin Larrett putting out all those videos. Yes, if we did see like Nancy Locke and Blanca Vega and, you know, Sarah Collins and Grace Barrett, you know, pounding out some cool videos out there training and competing all the time, you know, I think that has even more power specifically towards sponsors. There's just something interesting about it, you know.
And men's sports will be always more than women, because women, I never had kids, but women have to have kids, have a family, so they take a break. And the guys, they keep on arm wrestling all the time. But some women have to have kids and work, and so that's why there'll always be more men than women in almost in every sport.
Right. That's me.
So it's not our fault. We're gonna keep on arm wrestling, but I'm just saying that's the way it is. And it'd be nice to have more women, but women have to have kids. Women have to work. Women have to do things. I don't know. I'm just saying we're trying.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is true.
It is only going in one direction though. So that's good news.
Yeah.
So what advice can you give? I actually want to ask this to both Nancy and Sarah. So we'll start with you, Nancy. What advice can you give to new arm wrestlers?
Train smart, because if you hurt yourself and your elbow, because everybody gets their elbow hurt at the beginning, and then they're off, they don't arm wrestle ever again, or they're off for a couple months. Train smart, go slowly. Don't go 100% and hurt yourself. You're not going to enjoy your sport if you're always in pain. So you just have to train smart and not get hurt, and you'll enjoy it. But if you're in pain, you're not going to like it, and you're going to quit. A lot of people quit because of the pain in the elbow or the shoulder or the wrist or blah, blah, blah. So just go slowly. Don't go crazy. Because if you go crazy, you're going to hurt yourself, and goodbye. We're not going to see you again. A lot of women happen that they say, oh, I'm in it. And after a month or two, they're gone because they're in pain. They went too fast. So newcomers, take your time. Gradually go up and eat right, sleep right, and make sure you eat right, drink a lot of water and all that, and just train smart. Get a trainer at the beginning.
Okay, that was going to be my follow-up question on that.
Yeah,
so
get a weight trainer
for safety and smart. Get somebody that knows what they're doing to help you out.
Yeah, or an arm wrestler that's been doing it for 30, 40 years. We know, okay, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Don't do this. Don't do that. I've done it. Don't do this because this is going to happen. Someone that's been arm wrestling for years, we learn all the mistakes we did. So ask someone that's been doing it for a long time, or ask a private trainer and say, okay, help me start doing something so I don't get hurt. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I completely agree on that one.
Yeah, I actually want to send this question to all of you because you're all killing it and have experience. And I think it's an important question. Sarah, what do you think about that? If you could give any advice to a new arm wrestler, what would it be?
I would tell the newer arm wrestlers not to go in with the expectation that I'm going to win the match, because I've heard the newer pullers say, well, I don't want to go to this because I'm not going to win.
Right.
But you're not going to win. You're not going to win every match. And as long as you stay consistent, of course, take Nancy's advice with training smart and be consistent about it, you're going to see the results.
Yeah.
Because not everybody just starts out and they're going to win every match. It just doesn't happen that way.
Right.
I like it. Very well said.
Mhm.
Yes. How about you, Grace? What do you think?
I would just say to have a fun. Just make it something that you enjoy, especially when you're just starting out. Like, don't take it too serious. Everybody's gonna want to come up, especially if you're joining a new team. Everybody's gonna want to tell you something, some tips and pointers in their own perspective, and you just have to really take it like a grain of salt and filter out what you think is right. And for yourself, everybody trains differently and pulls differently, competes differently, so just enjoy it. Don't, like, going back to what Nancy said too, don't rush, take your time.
Mhm.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
one of the first things that Derek said to me at like practice 1 and some of the alphas is they said the same thing you said. Everyone's going to be giving you a bunch of advice. They're going to tell you all these different techniques that suits all these different people that are giving you advice. And I like the way he put it. He said, put each one on a shelf, that
Yeah.
keep them, put it,
Mhm.
don't throw it away, put it on a
Right.
shelf. And as you patiently, start learning, some of those will make sense. Some of them will be applicable to you. Some of them won't. But yeah, that advice was very helpful. I couldn't agree
Mhm.
more, Grace, because it wasn't until like some of those things on the shelf, like 6 months in, I was like, oh shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And then a year
Mhm.
later, I was like, oh wait, let me put this one back. I like this one, and
Yeah.
you start getting it. Same question, Blanco. What do you think? Any advice?
Well, in my opinion, when I first started arm wrestling, I did I studied a lot on YouTube, and also in regards to taking other people's advice. And you learn from your own body. You have to trust your own body. Everybody's different. You're gonna heal differently. You're gonna train differently. You're gonna pull differently. It's kind of like me and my husband. We're completely opposites. He's a hooker and I'm a top roller. We couldn't train together because he would want me to pull a certain way that he would want to pull, but my body's telling me, but that's not me. So my advice as a newcomer is go with what you have or what your gut instinct tells you. You are going to get a lot of advice from a lot of different people, but only you know your body.
Mhm.
Don't overwork your body. The best thing about practice is you're there to practice and you're there to work your ligaments and your joints and everything else. You're not there to injure each other or to pose because you beat so and so. No, you're there to learn and
Mhm.
to work on those ligaments. Focus on training in a safe environment. Pick a team or a group of people that know what they're doing. Don't go and pick a team where they're all young and they're all still learning. You need at least one person that knows what they're doing, that has at least pulled for a couple of 30 plus years and can actually say, listen, your position is wrong and this is the way it should be. Because once we create bad habits, those bad habits are so hard to get rid of. I created bad habits from learning from people that didn't know what they were doing. And you know what? But I learned it fast and those bad habits were corrected. It's not always easy to correct those habits. So my advice to you as a newcomer, pick a group of people that know what they're doing and stick to it. Those aches and pains, they're not going to go away by you taking time off. They're only going to get worse when you come back. So,
Mhm.
Pull safe, don't overdo it, pay attention, read a lot of books if you have to, or watch a lot of YouTube. I know that helped me.
Great. Yeah. Great advice. I like it. Yeah, definitely. I like that. And a lot of you are kind of, I think, speaking the same things. Different facets, but yeah, all great advice. I appreciate that. Anybody tuning in, it's good advice. Take that in. So we've got one more question in closing, which I think, Blanca, is perfect for this very intimidating world champion. Nancy, do you want to ask our last question?
Okay, where are we at?
Do you want me to take it?
Yeah, take it.
What's
Okay.
the question?
Who, Miss Intimidating, who was your most intimidating opponent? Was there anybody that when you came to the table, you're like, oh crap,
Yes.
Mhm.
Barb Selepa. She's Canadian. I have trouble saying her last name. Barb Selepa. After I quit arm wrestling in '93, she won world. She won the world in my category for a couple years. And I remember the first time I met her, she grabbed my hand and her hand went, it was probably this long, it wrapped, and I'm there, oh my God. And then she was shaking and she started crying on the table. And I'm there, okay, is this an act? Is she acting? Am I supposed to take pity of her? I was like, no, I'm going to still get pissed off. So I put her down. She came up, she said, I'm sorry. I was shy. I was so happy to go against you, blah, blah, blah. Well, the couple years after, she got stronger and stronger and stronger. And her hand, every time she would grab my hand, I was like, oh, she's going to beat me today. She never did, but she was the one I was always scared of. Barb. She was the one I was scared of. And I'm
she
still
just
am.
felt that bad to grip up with. She just felt that bad to grip up with.
Oh, I couldn't. I never had a grip with her. She always had her own grip. Her hand would cover my whole hand. It was huge. I was like, I am so done with this girl. Like, she never beat me, but the way she was going,
she would mess with your head, huh?
She was the scariest one of all the girls. I still think of her. It's like, if she ever comes back, oh boy, I'm scared of her.
Yeah.
Because she won worlds after me. After I was gone, she won worlds. And
wow, she kept going.
Yeah, she was in WAL. You guys probably met her. Barb Celeb. She's tall, skinny. Anyway.
Was she Australian or no?
No, Canadian.
She was Canadian. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met her. No.
Of all the girls, even the heavyweight girls.
Now you're giving me homework.
Yeah.
Barb Selepa. Barb. It starts with a Z, her last name. She
sounds familiar though. Yeah.
If you go on WL, you see all the her pictures there. She was in there.
It makes sense because you definitely seem like you're a hand and wrist dependent arm wrestler. So if somebody was kind of threatening that,
she was all the arm wrestling girls. She even now she's the one I'm scared of. Nobody else in lightweight but her. She's the one.
I love it.
And she's really nice. She's really nice.
Where are you, Barb? Let's get you on the show.
I know.
She's in Ontario. She lives in Canada, Ontario. I'm friends with her on Facebook. I could say, hi, how's it going? But,
do it.
I can tell her. I don't know what's happening with her lately, but she's scary. Like, it's not scary at the table like me, but wow.
Right.
Very strong. Yeah.
Well, ladies, and I know, for Grace and Sarah, it's got to be what, like almost 11 or something.
I know.
You guys gotta go to bed.
I gotta go.
We are so sorry. We are so sorry, girls.
Yeah, you got a big competition tomorrow.
Good luck tomorrow.
Get the rest.
Lots of videos and pictures, please.
Yeah, a lot of videos.
Have a good night, everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, good night.
We're
Get
gonna
some
cheer
rest.
for you guys.
Thank you all for coming on.
Thank you. Good night,
everyone
Sarah.
watching, subscribe, follow all these women, and I can't thank you enough. You all have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Night.